Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today I will tell you everything about chess and I will aim for everyone to learn about chess. Introduction: chess is a game that's been around since the Middle Ages, and it's played all over the world by many people. It's also very difficult to learn how to play because there are so many rules involved. In this article, we'll look at what all these pieces are called as well as where they go on the board when they're not being moved around by other players or opponents. The chessboard: the chessboard is a square board with 64 squares. Each player has 16 pieces: a king, 2 bishops, 2 rooks, or knights, 2 elephants, are castles, and 8 pawns. The pieces are the most important aspect of chess. They are the players, and they make up your army. Each piece has its own unique abilities, which are determined by the color of its piece. For example, the white king is stronger than other pieces because he can move one space in any direction, whereas other pieces only move horizontally or vertically, or diagonally. The main objective in chess is to capture enemy pieces. If you can't do this, then you'll lose. To capture an enemy piece, all you need to do is put it on your side of their board. You don't need to take them out physically, but just move them into another area where they're vulnerable so that their opponent can't use them anymore when they try attacking again later on down the road. The rooks and bishops: the rook and bishop are the two most important pieces in chess. Both can move any number of squares in any direction, but they have different movement patterns. Rooks can move in a straight line, like a knight, but bishops can only move diagonally. Rooks cannot jump over other pieces like knights or kings, while bishops can jump over queens and pawns. Pawns can only capture diagonally forward. That means you cannot capture your opponent's rook with a pawn, because if you did so it would be illegal. Instead, you should try and trap their queen or bishop. If your pawn reaches the end of its path without moving into checkmate position, then it will promote into another type of piece, such as an elephant or rook. The elephants and the king in chess: the king is the most powerful piece. It can move any number of squares in a straight line, and it has an extra power called check that allows it to checkmate an opponent if they are not able to escape capture by moving away from their sitting position. The second most powerful piece is a rook, or castle. Rooks can move diagonally as well as horizontally or vertically. They can also jump over other pieces like pawns or queens. When you have more than one rook on your side of the board, as many players do, then this allows for more flexibility when planning attacks against your opponent's defenses. This makes them very useful for defending against weaker pieces like pawns because they will prevent them from being taken out easily by attacking armies without breaking apart into smaller groups first before doing so. However, on higher levels where there may only be 2 opposing armies left at once instead of 3, due mostly because both sides are equally matched at equal strength levels similar enough between each other. This is all about chess. Chess is a popular board game that's played by millions of people around the world. It involves 2 players, who take turns moving their pieces across the 64 squares on a grid-shaped board, or chessboard. The goal is to checkmate your opponent's king, a feat that can only be accomplished by surrounding the king with your pieces and then capturing it in one move. The most basic piece in chess is called a pawn, or simply pawn for short. These are worth 1 point each and can be captured by an opposing player if they're not protected by another piece such as another pawn or rook. However, if you manage to make all 6 available squares safe for yourself, then you will win at least 1 point. As well as being able to capture other pieces during play, there are also some special moves available depending on what type of piece we're dealing with here. Knights move like any other knight would, and they even have different abilities, including jumping over other pieces without having to stop first. Bishops move backwards along specific paths when possible so long as no other enemy pieces stand between them. Otherwise, they'll just stay put where they currently are until forced somewhere else instead. Conclusion: now that we have gone over all the basics of chess, hopefully you will be ready to try it out for yourself. Remember that the first step is always making sure you know where everything is on the board. Use our tips above as a starting point and then experiment with your own strategies. Good luck. Yes guys, today I talked about chess. If you like the video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe and turn on the bell to be informed about the videos. See you in other videos.